Hey everyone. Sorry, I know it's been a while. My apologies if my voice is low. It's 3 a.m. at my house right now at the time of this recording, and I haven't done any wrestling based content, and I kind of wanted to talk about Night of Champions 2026 and kind of give my predictions. So, I'm going to go down the list here. I don't know if this is the order that the card is set in, or if this list goes in any order. I'm just pulling this off of Wikipedia to kind of help me remember what exactly is going to take place at Night of Champions, because I'll be honest, wrestling just isn't it at the moment. Neither WWE or AEW are particularly lighting the world on fire at the moment. Um, I'll get into that in another video. So let's talk about Jey Uso versus Obafemi. In all honesty, I don't want to see Jey Uso win. All right. However, I don't see Obafemi winning either. It's a little weird saying that because I would like to see Obafemi win. And I mean, the man is mega over right now. You can easily build a new star already. I mean, look at the way Brock Lesnar put him over strongly during not only the build to WrestleMania, but on WrestleMania. Now, yeah, Obafemi did lose his match to Brock Lesnar in the rematch, but I mean, even then, you have to factor in Obafemi got attacked from behind. He took 7 F5s. It took a lot to take down Obafemi, so I'm um, not exactly thinking that Obafemi is going to be buried here if he loses, right? Obafemi does not lose momentum if he loses the match here, but I also just feel like Jey Uso winning would just, it's just a disappointing finish, right? I think if Obafemi wins, right, it's just another notch under his belt, and plus there's that career parallel. Brock Lesnar became King of the Ring his rookie year in on the main roster, and so does Obafemi on his rookie year on the main roster. I mean, it's just a cool little highlight. Ultimately, if I had to pick, I'm gonna say Jey Uso's gonna win, and I really hate saying that because I don't think Jey Uso has any business being in the title in the title picture for either one. I'll just be honest with you, right? The man is over, right? People love to do the taunts and people love his entrance, but you strip that away. I mean, the way Jey Uso has just fallen from grace is insane to me because you take a look back at the year he had in 2021 during the pandemic era. That was great character development for Jey Uso. But and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the entrance. Maybe it's the yeeting. As much as I hate that word now, um, but the man is always so winded, right? The man is constantly slipping up, whether on promos or in the ring. The man is always winded. The man is just never in shape to wrestle. You look at the match that he had with CM Punk at Saturday night's main event, and you see him over rotate on a neck breaker. You see him just not be there for certain spots. Now, CM Punk, for his part, I'm not going to say he had an off night himself. The worst thing I could say that CM Punk did was he did get visibly frustrated, but it's understandable when you're working with someone who's being visibly frustrating. The only thing I could knock CM Punk for is probably the spear that he gave Jey Uso, and Punk has not given that spear ever since, which thankfully, I don't think we ever have to see that again. I think even Punk himself would acknowledge that was just a bad spear. But that's where it ends with Punk. Where it ends with Jey Uso, nobody knows, because as much as I liked the character development in 2021, as much as I liked how over the man was, um, the man has kind of dropped the ball a little bit, right? When he is in a top spot, he doesn't back up the top spot. He doesn't do enough to retain it, right? It's like he gets a little bit lazier, right? When it's time to get down to brass tacks, the man just kind of coasts a little bit, and he slips up, he trips up, again, both in the ring and on the mic. I mean, the man can't even remember what he's going to say. And even when he does remember, he's always out of breath. Um, and not to turn this into a Jey Uso rant, but it's just the man for me is not someone that I want to see. Right? When he pinned LA Knight to advance in the King of the Ring, I personally really felt like that was very disappointing because there's a number of people that could have gone over and could have had more momentum going into this. Finn Balor isn't doing much right now. You can have Finn Balor go for King of the Ring, and I'm sure him and Obafemi would have a great match. LA Knight is another one. Now that he is muddled in this bloodline stuff, I still think you have a better opportunity capitalizing on LA Knight than you do on Jey Uso because Jey Uso has been proven to not work as a champion in WWE. And he has been proven to not even work in the championship picture. So, LA Knight, Royce Keys. Now, Royce Keys would be a dark horse pick very much because nobody would expect Royce Keys to advance, but it would still be pretty cool to see. So there was a bunch of different names that could have gone over Jey Uso. I'll even take Javon Evans, and honestly, I like Javon Evans, but the man is not world championship material. At least not now. Maybe somewhere down the line. But this current incarnation of his character, I'm gonna have to say no, obviously. So again, bullet to the head, gun to the head. I'm gonna have to go with Jey Uso for my final prediction. It's not who I want to win. I want Obafemi to win, but who I think is gonna win, it's gonna be Jey Uso. I just think what the company's gonna do, they're probably gonna have, Jey Uso challenge against Cody Rhodes. Storyline I'm not interested in. Or there is the other route of Roman versus Jey, which is another storyline I'm not interested in, unless it means the Bloodline storyline is nearing the end, which is that's something I want to see. I want to see all the Bloodline members just go their separate ways and work on something else. WWE is too creatively bankrupt to keep running this storyline back already. The next match is Io Sky versus Liv Morgan. Now, logically, I think you have Io Sky win the match. Now, I could see Liv Morgan winning the match. It's very much 50-50 as to who wins the match, but I don't think WWE has any desire to unify the world titles at any point. I don't see any reports coming out like that. I don't see what sense it would make to unify the titles because that's what it would lead to. If you have Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the WWE title, and Liv Morgan wins, then you're unifying those titles, and I just don't see what's to be gained from that. So I think the more logical choice is you build to Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley. So I think Io Sky is more likely to win than Liv Morgan. Again, that's not to say Liv Morgan doesn't have a shot of winning. She absolutely does. Because I could see it going both ways, but I think the more logical choice is going to be Io Sky. And I think they would probably come to the same conclusion as well. Next, we have Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints for the United States Championship match. Now, Trick Williams has not had the U.S. title very long. I can't imagine he's going to drop it in such a short amount of time, especially when he is as over as he is. And Ricky, no offense to Ricky, I'm a big fan of Ricky. I've been a fan of his since the days of Ricky Starks in AEW, right? His matches with CM Punk were great, you know. So I mean, no offense to Ricky Saints when I say this, but the man just isn't getting any reactions, right? And if he is, they're very minimal at best. Like, you don't really hear, a pop, really. You don't really hear the crowd going crazy or booing or anything. You do kind of hear some light applause or light boos, but it's very polite. Very polite. So I think Trick Williams is going to retain. Um, but I do think they're going to have a great match because, again, Ricky is super talented. Trick Williams is super talented. You put these two together, I think they could possibly steal the show here. Um, in my opinion, Trick Williams is going to win, but hopefully Ricky Saints gets some more exposure off of this and really gets over and starts to connect with the crowd after this match. That's what I think probably matters more in the grand scheme of things. Next, we have Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. And to answer your question as who do I think is going to win, my answer is who the hell cares? All right, this is a feud that has dragged on long enough. This should have been over months ago. It should have been over several Monday Night Raws ago. I don't know why we're still going to the well with this. Honestly, I think Seth Rollins takes the win here. And as much as I'm not a fan of this incarnation of Seth Rollins, I think it almost needs to be this way in order to finally put an end to this storyline already. All parties involved need to move on to other things. Seth Rollins needs to move on to something else. Braun Breaker needs to move on to something else. This has gone on long enough. It doesn't make sense to keep dragging this out even longer. Next, we have Cody Rhodes versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn. So, do not discount the idea of Sami Zayn walking out as champion. Because the man is over in Saudi Arabia, for one. For two, it would be nice to kind of shake things up, just in my opinion, right? However, however, I will say with the way this has gone down, I could also see Triple H playing it safe and just keeping the title on Cody Rhodes. If you ask me, who do I think is the best choice to come out? I think you have Sami Zayn come out. And I think Triple H is going to surprise us. I'm really hoping Triple H will surprise us with a championship change. Right? Yes, you can have Gunther win the title, but I don't really feel like seeing that. I personally want to see Sami Zayn win the title. It's been a long time coming. I think it would be a good feel good moment. Even though the guy is going to turn heel, I mean, it's all but a foregone conclusion that the man is going to turn heel. Um, but at least give the crowd, for one night anyway, give them, that feel good moment. Give the audience at home who are fans of Sami Zayn, give them that feel good moment. Um, I think it's okay to take the title off of Cody Rhodes in order to give the title to Sami Zayn. Number 6, and this is the last one, Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship match. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't been following this feud very long, so I'm not entirely sure um, what's been going on. So I'm going to go into this prediction very cold here, and I'm going to say Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton is going to retain. From what I understand, she just got the title, and it's okay to have a lengthier title reign than just a few months. I would say give her like a 6, maybe 7 month reign with the US title. I think now is not the time to drop it. Jade Cargill, I could see them booking Jade Cargill to win, but I also think you can look strong in defeat. So there's nothing wrong with if Jade Cargill takes a loss here. I think Tiffany Stratton hits the prettiest moonsault ever and pins Jade Cargill 1, 2, 3. That's what I think happens. So that's going to wrap up my predictions for Night of Champions. Have a good night, everyone, and take care.